heads to Ryder's apartment to try and find him. Nobody answers and he lets himself inside. While he searches for Ryder, he fixes himself some coffee but gets attacked by Iggy Star, Ryder's girlfriend and the main actress of Metal Storm. After a bit of crashing around the place, Colt finds that Iggy is using a prop sword and he then tries to explain that he is looking for Ryder for the film's sake. Iggy tells him to go to a nightclub that Ryder goes to and to look for his drug dealer but advises him to dress flashy. Colt gets into the club by dressing flashy and meets the drug dealer, Dune. Dune offers Colt a seat, and when Colt asks for Ryder, Dune instead gives Colt a drug drink and tries to have his guys deal with him. Colt starts tripping but manages to beat up 3 goons with the help of some bottles before chasing Dune outside as he tries to catch a cab. Colt jumps in front of the cab, forcing the driver to stop. He then approaches Dune explaining the need to find Ryder. He tells Colt that he was paid to drug him and directs him to a hotel to find someone named Kevin and to ask for a fruit platter. Colt also hallucinates seeing a unicorn. Colt gets to the hotel and asks the receptionist for Kelvin. Just then he runs into Jody, who vents to him that the studio is meddling with her film's love story. She then leaves and Colt then meets the concierge, Kevin, who gives him a fruit platter, which is just the key to Ryder's hotel room. After a few unsuccessful tries with the door key, Colt breaks into the room by knocking the door down. Just then Jody calls him and talks to him about some ideas for the film while playfully bantering. After the call, Colt continues his search for Ryder and finds the corpse of another stuntman, Henry Herrera, in a tub of ice. Colt calls Gale about his discovery, who advises him not to talk to the police, but he does so anyway because one officer approaches him because he is illegally parked. When Colt mentions the body in the tub of ice, they return to Ryder's room to find the tub completely empty and Colt still gets a ticket. On the next day of shooting, Dan complains that Jody was inspired by whatever she discussed with Colt since she has bigger and more complicated ideas for the shoot. Colt then stands in for Ryder so that they can use deepfake technology and add Ryder's face to the final product. After production, Jody later invites Colt out for karaoke, which he accepts. Just then, Gale shows up and offers Colt a flight ticket stating that he wasn't needed for the rest of the production. But Colt still decided to attend the karaoke before leaving. On his way to karaoke, Colt runs into Alma Martin, Tom's assistant, along with a trained dog named Jean-Claude that he has worked with. When he asks Alma about Ryder, she says that she last saw him and Henry at a crazy party before Gale called her away from it. Alma got her hands on Ryder's phone since his head of security, Dressler, was hounding her over it. She knows there is something criminal on there and is willing to turn it in, but she tells Colt she wants producer credit on Metal Storm. He says he will see what he can do. Just then, they both get tasered by Dressler and he abducts Alma in his garbage truck. Colt gets Jean-Claude and gets into his truck to chase after them, all while Jody is at the karaoke bar waiting for him, but Gale tells her that Colt wouldn't come as she had given him a flight ticket to leave since she didn't request for Colt initially. A disappointed Jody goes on to perform the song against all odds while Colt fights the goons after he and the dog make it onto their van. Jean-Claude bites the goons in the balls before going up front to help Alma get rid of the driver goon. Alma manages to get the driver off the truck after kicking him several times and manages to stop the vehicle, which sends Colt crashing through the windshield, but he is okay. He then runs with the dog to the karaoke bar, only to find only Dan there. Dan then informs him that Jody had long gone. Colt and Dan give Ryder's phone to fellow crew member Venice to hack into, but she needs his password. The guys go to Ryder's apartment and go through his wide array of post-it note reminders until they manage to find the password written in plain sight. After Venny unlocks the phone, Colt and Dan find a video of Ryder